a special edition of WeatherScope with the latest winter storm update.
Thanks for joining us here at the Weather Channel on this snowy Sunday in the eastern United States. We're calling it now the blizzard of 1996, the Super Bowl of snowstorms. It could be of your lifetime if you live in New York City, Philadelphia, and in particular, Washington, D.C. We've been watching a snow blitzkrieg move up the East Coast, and it's now snowing at the rate of 1 to 3 inches an hour right around the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. And with all that heavy snow in the Washington, D.C. area, of course, we have someone stationed there, and it's Jeff Morrow. And Jeff, we've been watching you all morning report about the snows. We've seen you in your Penn State blue and white, but earlier I had a tough time seeing that blue with all that snow coming down.
I'll tell you, Mark, and something else is going on here. The wind's starting to pick up. It is really starting to blow hard. So the wind chill is becoming a factor, if you will. Also, I would say we have about a foot, at least a foot of snow on the ground here now. I don't know what National or Dulles is reporting, but it's hard to tell because it's drifting a little bit. All the major roads here, they're trying to keep up with them. A state of emergency has been declared in all of Virginia and in Maryland. The National Guard has been called out to help out with the emergency. It's pretty much a mess up here. Let's go down and see if we can see exactly how much snow we have. I'll kind of dig a little bit of a hole here. I would estimate, Mark, at least a foot, and it's still that light, powdery, fluffy kind of snow. But when the wind starts blowing, it starts hitting you in the face. It feels pretty nasty. It looks like it's let up just a little bit here in the last 15 minutes, but for the last hour or two before that, it's been pretty bad.
And Jeff, you are familiar with snowstorms growing up in Pennsylvania. The area, D.C., maybe not as prone to snows like Pennsylvania. Is this area well prepared? The storm been well advertised?
I would say, Mark, that they're prepared as they can be. They have snow removal equipment. Some of it, they have sanders and salt trucks. And so they're doing the best that they can. I heard somebody this morning say that in the city alone there were 170 trucks that were going to be out, but I don't think even an armada of trucks can keep up with the snow at the rate it's falling here. So they're doing the best they can, but a storm of the century, how can you deal with that?
Okay, and the wind should continue to increase there, Jeff, because the storm is just organizing now on the coast, and as that intensifies, we should begin to see more drifting of that snow, that light fluffy snow that you've been reporting about.
Well, that's not good news, Marco. We don't want to hear about too much more in the way of wind because we can already feel the effects of that wind chill out here, and it feels pretty nasty.
Okay, so the old double whammy there, Jeff. Jeff, get yourself a cup of hot cocoa there, and we'll hear from you in about a half hour.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And Jeff will try to keep warm as he reports on this blizzard that's moving up the East Coast. And that snow and wind will continue to pick up around the nation's capital, and it's already picking up around Philly, and it's headed right towards New York City. Let's go to the radars and the satellites and show you what we have to report. And, well, we can see a big twist here on the radar, and that's way over here in Kentucky. That's the upper air system. The surface low is right here on the coast. And as this energy from the west gets closer, this low, as it moves up, will intensify, so the winds will get stronger in here. So we'll see the winds increasing and more blowing and drifting of the snow. Again, we show you the rain-snow line cutting right across central Virginia, right around Richmond. We could have some big problems with icing, especially with the winds picking up. Notice the isobars here getting a little tighter, signs of our low pressure intensifying. So as the pressure gradient or the pressure difference between cold high to the north and the low intensifies, these winds will pick up. Here's a look at the snow that has fallen so far. We're getting reports now of 22 inches of snow in western Virginia, and it's still coming down at the rate of 1 to 2 inches an hour. Locally, 3 to 4 feet expected flooding and beach erosion in through this area here from Massachusetts right down to the eastern shore. Jeff told you it's cold. Look at that cold air. That continues to come in. And as we check on the wind chills for you, there you can see them all below zero right down to North Carolina and into Georgia. So it's cold right down into the south. And in the south, we did pick up some snow and ice last night. So it's very slick down and through here, but travel certainly not recommended. So there you have it. Very cold Arctic air. It's large.
Pass levels, it's been even raining around Stampede Pass, so snow levels are very high as this moisture is working its way in, and we have a northerly trajectory through Chicago, The snow is moving off of Chicago, heading on toward Gary now as the winds are shifting off to the north, but we had a very intense lake effect snow band yesterday afternoon. Temperatures are cold, certainly very cold. It's 15 in Chicago, 2 below right now in and around Minneapolis. It's 16 around New York City, 17 degrees in Washington, D.C., where Jeff is. But, you know, Jeff is dealing with a wind chill of 16 below zero. That's, I think, why he was complaining. It is very cold out there. Those winds are very gusty, and you can see the current winds. Winds are right now at 29 to 30 miles per hour, right around that upper level energy. And as that upper level energy is pulling on through, we are going to see some problems, certainly with blowing and drifting snow. As Jeff said, it's a very...
As the storm continues. That's the live picture on the boardwalk. Most interesting, at the boardwalk in Atlantic City, it is not snowing at the moment. Joe Torres was driven inside to the van, literally, by freezing rain that was blowing in his face like nails, and it has stopped snowing in Atlantic City for the moment. Dave Roberts is outside. Dave Roberts is outside to explain what's going on there. Dave, I get the distinct impression that the situation's changing in Atlantic City. Maybe that little band of mixture is now arriving in that part of the viewing area.
Well, they're very close to that mixture right now, Mark, and they may get that on and off as this storm just persists. And it's not going to let up through tonight. It's not going to let up until sometime early tomorrow morning, hopefully before noon. That's what our hopes are at this hour, but we are into it now. The record snowfall, of course, we've been talking about is 21.3 inches. That was set on February 1983. We were out here then with the action cam, and we remember it well. These are some of the scenes from 1963, and if they look 1983, and if they look familiar, that's because they match what we have today. Of course, these youngsters then were out having a little fun in the snow, but that comes a little bit later on. Right now, though, there's no one out here having fun tonight. If they are out at all this afternoon, they are in for an extremely difficult time. Do we have some more numbers to show now? I know the latest wind chill was 27 degrees below zero. There we go. Present temperature reading 13 degrees. The wind's out of the northeast at 28 miles per hour. The top wind gust now in Philadelphia, 37 miles per hour with a wind chill of 27 degrees below zero. Cecily Tynan is down on the street. There's last year's. This is an interesting stat here. Last year, our total snowfall was less than 10 inches, 9.6 inches. That was last year, and everyone said we didn't have a winter. It was wonderful for many people. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So far, as of this hour, we have 15 inches of snow. Obviously, last year was an aberration or something like it. Cecily Tynan down, live on the Action Cam on the street with some friends.
Yes,
what do you got?
That's right. I have Sean and Cynthia McDonald. That's right. Some people braving the elements. Sean, what are you doing outside right now?
We trying to go home.
You trying to go home? Where have you been?
To the airport.
To the airport, and you had some problems. Can you still talk? It looks like your face is freezing.
It's freezing. It is. We was trying to get my daughter back to the Tallahassee. She go to college there. By the time we got there, we found out the flight was canceled. When we called, they said they was leaving out. By the time we got there, they canceled everything. So we on our way trying to get back home. We got stuck, so we was walking up there because he got the car started, so he had to keep going. So we gonna meet him up at the top of the hill.
Oh, okay. So how are you handling the situation? Your nose tends to run this weather. I know that. How are you handling that?
Ooh.
Woo. In a word, woo, if that's a word. Well, good luck to you. I'm not going to hold you up much longer. Good luck. I hope you don't freeze on the way.
Okay.
We may have to get some coffee out to you guys.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Well, definitely the advice, as we've been giving you all morning, has been to stay inside. Obviously, these people cannot avoid it. I've been in just for about 3 hours, and what a difference 3 hours makes. About 3 hours ago, you could actually see some blacktop on City Line behind me. As you can see right now, we don't have any showing through at all. The situation is definitely getting worse out here, and I had the Accu ruler. I don't know where it went, but let me show you the snow drift. Oh, here we go. Let's try to see what we have. We have basically a 7-inch snow drift right here on City Line, and this is just really cranking up right now, so obviously the situation is going to be getting a lot worse. We had one viewer in Washington Township, New Jersey, call up and said that his at-home Accu ruler measured 10 inches of snow in his backyard, so it's still coming down, and some of the cars are really having trouble here on City Line, so once again the advice, stay at home if you can. And let's send it back to Dave right up there.
Okay, Cecily, thank you very much. The blowing, drifting snow is now the hazard. As the snow is going to continue, we know that, but the strong gusty winds are going to give us white...